Hi, I'm Dave Alley, the Cornado grain spreader. I'd like to explain to you the advantages of my spreader. They start at the top. When the grain enters the funnel, you do not have to have your auger positioned perfectly in the center like everybody else's. This is a lot more forgiving. The only thing you need to do is make sure the grain is falling straight down when it goes into it. If it's going in at a big angle, it can mess with the flow in the spreader. When the grain flows through the top funnel, it hits the V-shaped trough. It immediately begins to self-level as it's going down the trough. The first place the grain exits would be the trap door, which is fully adjustable from on top of the bin. By metering the grain onto the first deflector, that deflector drives the rotation. If you meter it onto it, it is getting the exact same push, the whole entire 360-degree rotation, gives you a very level spread. It's kicking some grain back to the center because nothing falls out of the center. And by doing this, we're getting our fines spread out much better than anybody else's. You're not going to have a concentration of fines in the center of your bin. You will not have, in soybeans, a concentration of pods in the center or on the outside of the bin. They're spread out. As the grain goes past the trap door, hits the lower deflectors, it is being self-leveled just by the V-shaped trough, so it hits those deflectors very consistently. Again, helping with the rotation. That's the trick that makes this thing work. You can grease it from on top of the bin. That's also a big advantage. Most other spreaders, you can't even grease it. This one here, you can maintain it, and you can do it very easily. I ask you to do that when you're done filling the bin. That way they have fresh grease in them the 11 months you don't use it. That's the only time you're going to have a problem with the bearings, is if water gets on top of that bearing during that time and it just sits there. If you've got fresh grease in it, it's a lot less likely to have an issue. Other advantages of the Cornado. You can hang a temperature cable through the center of the Cornado. The center shaft and the temp cable model is hollow. So you can actually install it after the bin's up, spreader's in. It drops down through the center and hangs in the bin. The bearings, which are oversized, on the temp cable models, it will be 1 3/4 bearing. There's a rubber membrane above the bearing that it tells you in the instructions to fill that cavity between that rubber and the bearing with grease when you install it. That just helps to keep any moisture off the top of your bearing. You're not going to wear these bearings out. The only thing that will ever get them is moisture coming in that bin, down your leg, or if somebody happens to leave a lid open and it rains, you don't want water sitting on top of the bearing. And like I showed before, you can grease them from on top of the line joint up bearing. The spreader is very well balanced. There are counterweights back here that when this spreader is full of grain, the center of gravity is at about 6 inches off the center. That also helps give it a very good rotation. It just keeps it balanced. That's it. Another advantage of the Cornado, you can use it with a stirrer. The center shaft does not spin. This allows us to hang a bracket on here that you can hang your stirrer from. This spreader will make your stirrer work better. The fines are spread out evenly. The bin is always level. The stirrer works better. The grain dries even all the way up. It helps the process a bunch. If you have a DMC stirrer, it's this standard model. If you have the other ones, the Sukup and I think it's AGI, you have to run the cord up the center. There's a model specifically for that has the hollow shaft. You can run the power cord up the middle.